So each year during this time of Lent, we are called to focus on prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Prayer. I know that most of you pray often. We all have our favorite prayers. We have our favorite saint whom we ask to intercede for us before God. Perhaps you recite the rosary each day or repeat a certain litany. But let me ask you a general question. Are you satisfied with your prayer life? Do you feel that when you pray, you separate yourself from this world, from all your worries and tasks that you must fulfill? Do you fully immerse yourself in being in the presence of God? Because a perfect prayer happens when you focus only on God, when you truly feel His presence, when you have that feeling that there is nothing else on your mind, only God. It's when you feel peaceful, joyful, when you feel like you are, for that very moment, not in this world, but with God and only God, and you don't want to return from that wonderful place. You are far away from all that is here. It would be wonderful to experience the kind of prayer I just described, wouldn't it? Quite often a person asks me a question like, "Father, is it okay when I pray in the car driving to work? I am so busy during the day, so I don't have a time to do my prayers. Father, every evening I am so tired, so I pray in my bed, but I usually fall asleep. I am not sure if prayer like that makes any sense." I think it is okay to pray always, even in the car, but is this kind of prayer a perfect prayer, a prayer that brings you comfort, a prayer that takes you away to be only with God, to feel His and only His presence? I'm not sure. So for me, a perfect prayer is that special time that we have with God and nothing else gets between us, that time that we want to stay in forever. Just like for people that are in love, they will always look forward to being together, to listen, to talk to each other, and when they are together, nothing else really matters. They are in a special kind of joy and want that time to never end. See, Jesus took Peter, John, and James and went up the mountain to pray. Jesus didn't take them to enjoy the view from the top of the mountain. He didn't take them there to have some great physical exercise. Jesus invites those three to prayer, to a perfect prayer, a prayer that they had never experienced before. And what happened there? The disciples saw something extraordinary. For a moment, they experienced a little bit of heaven. They felt the presence of God as they had never felt before. For that moment, nothing else really mattered to them. They were with God, and that was all they cared about. This world stopped existing for them. So why go back? Why go back to all those problems, difficulties, challenges? We want to stay here with God, with Jesus forever. Master, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah, Peter said. A perfect prayer brought him in front of God, and there was nothing more beautiful than that. And how about you? Have you ever experienced something like that? Jesus invites you to pray, to go with Him to that mountaintop and to experience that perfect prayer which brings you into the presence of God. Have you ever experienced a moment like that? That when you prayed, nothing else mattered? All your worries went away and you felt the presence and comfort and joy of being with God alone? And just like Peter, you wanted to stay there always. Notice what I am saying, because you will not experience this while rushing through your prayers by a rosary that is quickly recited. You will not experience anything like this when you say your prayers while driving to work. You will also not experience anything like this when you say your prayers only because you feel that you need to. This Lent, we are invited to focus on prayer. But not only to say more prayers than before. We are invited to experience that perfect prayer. Jesus took Peter, James, and John, and He also invites you and me to go with Him and pray. So let us leave everything behind and let us join Jesus so we too can experience that perfect prayer, a prayer that will let us experience something extraordinary, a foretaste of heaven. Then, just like Peter, we will prefer to stay there always. So let's go to work. and God bless you.